Ms. Bermudez, we have one lawyer. I'm going to take his client first, and then we're going to circle back to you for Mr. Jimenez.
Yes, sir. I don't have the list. Can you provide me with the name, Judge?
Yes, it's Alexis Jimenez, Jimenez.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And what is he charged with?
He's charged with a number of driving related offenses and one count of possession of methamphetamine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see. Mr. Howard, would you turn your camera on, please? And we need to get Kenneth Tyrone Jones. Mr. Jones, normally during this proceeding, I would address you directly, but you have a lawyer, Mr. Howard. So I'm going to direct my conversation to Mr. Howard. You should realize that you do not have the ability to speak to Mr. Howard privately. So anything that you say during this proceeding will be heard by everyone. Okay, Mr. Howard, Mr. Jones is charged with aggravated battery and aggravated assault. I denied bond initially on both of these counts, but I will hear from you as it relates to whether you believe your client should get bond at this stage.
Yes, Judge, and I appreciate you hearing from us on this. This is a rather horrible case, to be honest, in the sense that my client was just simply trying to do his job. He works for UPS. He was at a loading station, and he went to the front of the line because he runs mail to the airport. So he has that right, if so to speak, to get to the front of the line and get the air mail, as they call it, and get it out of there. That's kind of his role. Well, in doing so, there was a gentleman who has obviously some emotional problems and had a problem with him cutting everybody. He was in his truck, okay? And I've looked into this case, and it's disturbing. So that gentleman made some very unsavory and with horrible racial statements to my client because he thought he was cutting in line instead of doing what he was supposed to be doing, which is exactly what he was doing. He then approached my client and there was an altercation. No weapons used, simply a fist fight is what took place in this case. And that's undisputed by everyone involved. And justification doesn't begin to tell you exactly the facts behind. He was more than justified in what occurred. And I will say this, I'm disturbed by how what happened to my client, the fact that he has to sit in jail right now. So he doesn't have any convictions on his record. He doesn't have, he could get out tomorrow and start working at UPS. If that tells you anything, they didn't fire him because of this. Unfortunately, warrants were taken out. He came to my office when the warrants were out, said, look, I have these warrants, and we were in the process of getting it figured out and doing our own investigation when he was arrested. So he was arrested from his house, which is located at 649 Old Orchard Drive in Southwest Marietta. And then he was transported down to Clayton County the next day, where he is now. So, Judge, I want the court to be aware that this is not your usual kind of case. And unfortunately, he's in this situation, and we're doing everything we can to resolve this fairly and quickly. But we think that he obviously knew these warrants were out. He never ran. He's not a flight risk. He's from Chicago originally, but he now has been living for 3 years with his fiance, who I just got off the phone with just recently at this address. So a fair bond. I believe a signature bond would be a fair bond in this case, but I understand the charges look bad on its surface, and I know the court has to take that into consideration, but I would ask for a signature bond in this case, given what I know about it.
Well, signature bond is not going to be given on this. My concern is, from what I've read in the warrant, it says that there was a fire extinguisher used to hit the alleged victim in the back of the head, causing fractures to the skull.
And in our investigation, talking to witnesses and that is absolutely untrue. That there was a plain and simple approach by the victim and a punch delivered, and that was it. There was no fire extinguisher ever used in this case, and the facts will bear that out, Judge.
Okay. Your client does not have a criminal history. I think he has one arrest on a criminal. What was this? He has an arrest out of Memphis, but it looks like those charges were dismissed. So he does qualify to have a bond set at this stage. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to grant him a bond, but I'm going to put a $15,000 bond on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge. And I'm going to put a $10,000 bond on the aggravated battery. So that'll be a total bond of $25,000. There's going to be a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Bernard Staggs. And if the facts bear out the way that you detailed them, that should not be a problem for Mr. Jones. He's going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And that'll be over Zoom like we're having here today. However, upon his bonding out, that date is going to get waived and he'll receive a new court date in the mail. Sorry, give me 1 second. I got to make these changes now. Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Howard?
Your Honor, do you want me to draw up the order, or will the court draw it up and have my permission to sign?
I have a pre-printed order form, bond order form here. So what's going to happen is when I'm done with this proceeding, I actually prepare the paperwork and send it back over to the Sheriff's Department. So they're going to get that today. And it doesn't look like we're going to have a lot of people on the calendar today, so we probably should be able to bond out this afternoon.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Judge. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Is there anything else, Mr. Howard?
No, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. You're free to go. And Mr. Jones is free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ms. Bermudez.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Judge?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. So what we're going to do with Mr. Jimenez, I'm just going to sort of modify what I normally say and kind of tailor it to him.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jimenez, can you hear and understand the interpreter?
Señor Jiménez, ¿puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete?
It looks like you're still muted on the men's side. Okay, thank you. Mr. Jimenez, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Señor Jiménez, este es su comparecencia inicial ante la Corte de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
My name is Brad Gardner, and I'm a judge in this court.
Mi nombre es Brad Garner y yo soy un juez en este tribunal.
I am not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargo en su caso.
I am here to advise you that you have been charged with certain offenses.
Yo estoy acá para informarle que a usted se le acusa de ciertos delitos,
As driving a vehicle with no license plate,
como manejar un vehículo sin sin placas,
bond is going to be set at $1,000 for that.
y su fianza va a ser de $1,000 por eso.
You're going to be charged with driving a vehicle with no license.
Se le va a acusar de conducir un vehículo sin licencia para conducir,
The bond is also going to be set at $1,000 for that.
y la fianza también se le va a fijar a $1,000.
You're charged with 4 open container violations.
Usted tiene 4 cargos por tener envases alcohólicos abiertos,
And the bond is going to be set at $500 each.
y su fianza se le va a fijar a $500 por cada cargo.
And you're charged with 1 count of possession of methamphetamine.
Y a usted se le acusa de un cargo de posesión de metanfetaminas.
That is a felony charge, and the bond is going to be set at $5,000.
Ese es un cargo por delito grave y la fianza se le va a fijar a $5,000.
You should understand that during this and all other proceedings, you're going to have the following rights.
Usted tiene que entender que en este proceso y en todos los procesos que vienen después de esto, usted va a tener los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence,
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia,
the right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors,
el derecho a que se le formule una acusación por el gran jurado o que se le haga una acusación para un delito menor,
the right to a speedy and public trial by jury,
el derecho a tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado,
the right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you,
el derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra,
the right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf,
el derecho de exigir a testigos y pruebas para que sean citados para ser usados en su defensa,
the right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense,
el derecho de testificar en su defensa y de presentar pruebas,
the right to have an attorney represent you.
el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente.
And if you can't afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
Y si usted no pudiera contratarse un abogado, uno se le podría nombrar si usted califica.
You're going to have a total bond set at $9,000 in this case.
Su fianza total va a ser de $9,000 en este caso.
You can post this bond either by paying the entire amount in cash,
Usted puede pagar esta fianza ya sea pagando la cantidad total de la fianza en efectivo.
the sheriff's department will hold that money and they will return it to you when your case is over.
La comisaría se quedaría con este dinero y ellos se lo reembolsarían cuando su caso termine.
You will also have the ability to use a bonding company to post this bond.
Usted también podría usar una compañía fiancista para pagar su fianza.
The bonding company will charge you a fee and that fee will not be returned.
La compañía fiancista le va a cobrar una tarifa y esa tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
I don't know what fee they will charge, but it is usually a percentage of the bond.
Yo no sé cuál sería la tarifa que ellos le cobrarían, pero generalmente es un porcentaje de la fianza.
Finally, you will also have the ability to use property to post your bond, but the property needs to have a value that is a net equity that is at least 3 times the bond amount.
Y finalmente, usted podría usar una propiedad para pagar su fianza. Y la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos 3 veces en capital neto la cantidad total de su fianza.
With those 3 options in mind, do you believe you can post this bond?
Y tomando en cuenta esas 3 opciones, ¿cree usted que usted va a poder pagar su fianza?
No sé.
No, I don't know.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Usted quiere que yo vea si usted califica para que le nombre un abogado? Yes.
You do qualify, Mr. Jimenez. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Señor Jiménez, usted sí califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 26th.
Su audiencia preliminar está fija para el 26 de abril.
At 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out.
A las 8:30 de la mañana, pero esa audiencia se cancela automáticamente si usted paga su fianza y sale.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para sustentar los cargos en su contra.
The standard at this stage is very low.
Y los estándares en esta etapa son muy bajos.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime occurred.
Para que un juez determine continuar con estos cargos, solamente tiene que determinar si es posible que el delito ocurrió.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Todos tienen la capacidad de renunciar a su derecho a renunciar a la audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, usted debe hablar con un abogado primero si usted no está seguro si es apropiado renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
Finally, Mr. Jimenez, I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bails in this county.
Finalmente, señor Jiménez, yo lo exhorto a que usted se ponga en contacto con las compañías fiancistas, las cuales podrían darle una fianza en este condado.
They will assist you in helping to bond out.
Y ellos le ayudarlo a salir bajo fianza.
Do you have any questions of me, Mr. Jimenez?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí, señor Jiménez?
No.
No.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Ok, puede retirarse, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bermudez. If we don't have anyone else that needs the Spanish interpreter, we will let Ms. Bermudez go about her day.
Thank you, sir. We don't have no one on the male side.
Okay. All right, let's switch back over to the female side. Ms. Bermudez, you're free to go. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too. So do we have Ms. Abernathy first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Abernathy, you're charged with 1 count of improper lane change and 1 count of following too close. The bond is going to be set for each of those offenses at $500. And then you're charged $500 each. And then you're charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. And the bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. So do you believe you can post this total bond of $6,000?
Yes, I'm so sorry. How much you say, sir?
6,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And it's going to be a little higher because the Sheriff's Department is required to add fees to these bonds, and I don't have access to that information. So it'll be a little bit more than 6,000, but it's just because of the fees. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
Yes, again, you're not sure how much I would have to, I can get a bondsman, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do I pay the whole 6,000?
No, you would contact the bonding company and you would tell them your charges and tell them your bond, and they will tell you the fee that they'll charge. And I can't remember the number, the total number, but it's a number of bonding companies. So I would encourage you to contact each one and see what arrangements you can make.
Yes, sir. If I find out today, I can leave today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, boy, next.
Yes, sir. Ms. Boyer, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, damage to property. The bond is going to be set at $5,000 for that. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, I don't believe I do.
Okay. Now, normally I will put a stay away provision on this bond. It just identifies the victim as your husband, Mr. Boyer. So please be mindful of the fact that there could be additional charges if whatever incident that led to your appearing before me starts up again. Okay?
Understood.
Okay. You're free to go back, ma'am.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So,
Ms. Calloway, you're charged with 1 count of false report of a crime. The bond is going to be set at $5,000 for this. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yeah.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I already filled out a paper. Ain't that's the paper we filled out?
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I have to look at. So you have a right to hire your own lawyer. You have a right to represent yourself, or you have a right to an appointed lawyer if you qualify. We have everyone fill this paperwork out in the beginning because it will be a long time if I got to read these 11 questions to everybody when you're appearing before me. So I do have the form. I just need to know if you want me to see if you qualify.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. So I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Yes, ma'am.
when I bond out, would I get a new court date instead of April the 27th?
Yes, ma'am. You will get a new court date in the mail.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dorothy,
Okay. Ms. Darden, you're charged with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. I'm setting the bond at $5,000 for that. 1 count of giving a false name, address, or date of birth. It's going to be a $2,000 bond, and 1 count of obstructing an officer. Again, the bond is going to be set at $2,000. So there's going to be a total bond of $9,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. This criminal damage to property that's been charged has been charged as a felony. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. It's important to note that upon bonding out, that preliminary hearing date of April 26th is going to get changed, and you will receive the new information in the mail. Do
Okay,
you have any questions of me?
no.
Okay, you're free to go back. Ms. Downing?
She's gone.
Okay. Ms. Downing, you've been charged with 1 count of simple battery. I'm setting a $4,000 bond for this offense, but I'm putting a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from a Takira Antoinette Jean. Do you believe you can post this bond, ma'am?
Yes.
And do you understand the stay away provision?
I'm sorry?
Do you understand the stay away provision?
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions of me?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Ms. Dozier?
Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and 1 count of obstructing an officer. I'm gonna place a total bond of $5,000 on this, but I'm gonna also place a stay away provision to stay away from Kenneth Hunter. Do you believe you can post this bond?
That's how I was gonna ask you, will a signature bond be available? I don't have the money.
No, not at this time, ma'am. But I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies because they will work with you. They'll even put you on a payment plan. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
You do qualify, Ms. Dozier. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. And like I said before, I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies. Do you have any other questions for me, ma'am?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back. Ms. Lockett?
Yes, sir.
You're charged with 1 count of armed robbery. I am unable to set bond on this offense at this time, but I've set a preliminary hearing date for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm also gonna set a bond hearing date for April 30th. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Miss Perry?
Yes.
Are you K Perry or T Perry?
Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer. I'm setting a bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post this bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back. You're Miss Perry also?
Yes.
Ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer and 1 count of giving a false name, address, and date of birth. I've set the bond at $2,000 a piece, so you're gonna have a total bond of $4,000. You believe you can post that bond? You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th also at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Sure.
Okay, you do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Thompson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Thompson, you've been charged with 1 count of felony theft by taking of a motor vehicle. I'm going to set the bond at $20,000 for that. Do you believe you can post that bond? Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes. But I have a question.
Yes, give me 1 second. You do qualify, ma'am. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Because this is a felony charge, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 26th. Now, I interrupted you. What was your question?
That was my brother's vehicle and he got it back, so how do I have one for it?
Well, this warrant apparently has been pending since May of 2019. And it looks like it said that the allegation is that you took the car on May 2nd. So
He picked up his car from my home.
I'm sorry?
He picked it up from my home. From me.
I understand. It says on the warrant that on May 2nd, at this Garden Walk Boulevard address, that you took the keys of your brother's car and took the car. And it looks like the officer came to get a warrant on May 4th of 2019. Did your brother not tell you that he had saw the warrant for your arrest?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is something where, so I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. What your brother is going to have to do is speak to your lawyer, because if these charges need to get dismissed, the brother as the victim will have to tell the district attorney's office that he declines to prosecute.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Okay. I'm basically free. I think of out.
Make phone calls.
Are you Ms. Walker?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Walker, you've been charged with taking of a felony amount of money. Your bond is also going to be set at $20,000 on the theft by taking, and there's a $5,000 bond set on the reckless conduct. So that's going to be a total bond of $25,000. Do you believe you can post this bond?
No, sir. I don't even have a clue. Why would I be charged with anything?
Okay, so the warrant says that on April 23rd of 2020, that you were supposed to be babysitting 2 children that belong to Moniqua Griffin, and that when Miss Griffin came home, the door was open, you were gone, and $4,000 in cash was missing, and that she apparently showed text messages to the police that were allegedly from you to her, telling her that she needs to come get her children. So the reckless conduct comes from the allegation of leaving 2 children that were supposed to be under care. And the theft by taking is related to the allegation of $4,000 was taken from Ms. Griffin.
Yeah,
So-
I'm disabled. I can't keep any kids.
You said you can't do what?
I said I'm not obligated to keep any kids because I'm disabled.
I don't.
I don't know where this allegation come from. I didn't do any of this allegation. I don't know why was whoever the young lady is saying I did. I'm in here for false accused.
So,
I don't have that type of money to even be trying to get out.
So, would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. The way that these allegations are written, Ms. Griffin told the police that you stole money from her.
I was never around her. I don't
Okay.
even know who this person is. That's what I'm being accused of something that I didn't do. I received disability in my because I'm disabled. I can't. This is not me. I don't have a work. I don't take from nobody. I don't steal nothing from nobody.
Okay, so Ms. Walker, what I can do at this point is
I got
appoint
a heart murmur. I got diabetes. I can't do anything with nobody kids. I can't do anything. Taking something from somebody is not me.
Okay, at this stage, all I can do is appoint a lawyer to give you a court date to tell you what the allegations are against you so that you will know at least today what you have to do to fight this. And if this person has made this stuff up, then that person will get charged too.
Something I gotta sit here all month too and don't know what's in that.
I have to set bond based upon the allegations that are here. And so this is something where I would encourage you, let me make sure I tell you, you're gonna have a preliminary hearing date of April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And that date will get waived upon your bonding out. But from what I hear from you, you're saying that you didn't even do this and you don't know what this lady's talking about. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm in false application.
Do you know a Miss Monique or Moniqua Griffin?
This is my daughter's friend.
Okay, so she's saying that on this April 23rd date, that you were supposed to be babysitting her children at 4233 Jonesboro Road in Forest Park.
So you saying the date is April 23rd, and I can prove I was somewhere else April 23rd at my home?
Yes, ma'am.
So is any other court that you can give me quicker than that? Because I don't know how I'm gonna prove that April 26th. That's a whole nother month.
Well, what's going on now is that they're negotiating these cases because of the COVID stuff, and it's pushed court dates out. So there's a lot of informal negotiation that's going on between the district attorney's office and the lawyers. So you know that you're being alleged to have done this on April 23rd.
She said I did it April 23rd.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
I have to wait till April 26th to go back to court.
No, I would encourage you.
I don't have the money. I don't have the money to get out. I don't have that money. I don't not have no $20,000 or something I didn't do.
Okay.
It's my right hand to God. I see how somebody can put a money on me.
Ma'am, why every time I start talking, you start talking?
I'm sorry. I'm just upset because I've been charged with something that I didn't do.
I understand. Talk to your lawyer. You now know the allegations. You're free to go back, Ms. Walker. Is Miss Wells OTB? Ebony Wells?
I don't have a Wells. I guess so, yeah. It says not active on my list.
Okay. All right. We have finally Ms. Williams.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Williams, you've been charged with 4 driving-related offenses. You're going to have a total bond set at $4,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? You do qualify, Ms. Williams. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
No,
Okay, you're free to go back.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, that completes it for the females.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm ready for the male side.
Yes, sir. Mr. Adams. Both of y'all name Adams?
Yes, sir. Which one?
Let me get Corey.
How you doing, sir? How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well. Mr. Adams, you're charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, possession of methamphetamine, and 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're gonna have a total bond set at $6,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
He's just, me and my mother, she has vertigo, and I just took I have hospital bills, I just, had a bullet, ricochet, I had hit by a bullet. I don't think I do, I don't think I have. I just got a job today, I'm supposed to be there today.
Okay, well, the breakdown is on the felony methamphetamine. It's a $5,000 bond, and it's a $1,500 for the possession of marijuana less than an ounce. I would encourage you to contact the bonding companies that are here, and they will work with you. You're going to have this preliminary hearing date set for April 26th because of the felony charge. It's going to be 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Adams. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir, thank you. No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Come on, Mr. Adams. I have another Mr. Adams, Your Honor.
What's your first name, sir?
Good afternoon, sir. My name is John Adams.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
give me a second. I only have one Adams. Do you have a middle name?
Lewis Adams. John Lewis Adams, scheduled at 8 a.m.
Okay.
My probation officer name is Kathy Brown.
Okay, I don't have Mr. Adams on my form. Let me see if he's on the calendar. I don't have you on, Mr. Adams. I tell you what, deputies, let's put Mr. Adams to the back. We're checking on his status right now.
All right, sir.
Just hold tight in the back, Mr. Adams.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. All right, who's the next person we have?
Bowden.
Okay, Mr. Bowden, I have a bond order for you that says violation of probation. And that's the only thing that you're here under, but I don't have the warrant. So I'm gonna hold you to the back also, Mr. Bowden. And okay, so we have a hold tight, Mr. Bowden. We have an answer on Jonathan Adams. He's here on a city violation of probation charge. And the other person, yes, not you. So I just received word from Miss Bernie that Mr. Jonathan Adams is not supposed to be on first appearance here because of his city violation of probation. So he's gonna have to go back before whatever judge put him on probation. Ms. Bernie, I'm sending you the WAA or the WA number I have for Mr. Bowden. And she's gonna check on that, Mr. Bowden. So we're gonna have you to step to the side also, and we'll come back. Okay. Mr. Brooks?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated assault and 1 count of criminal trespass. I'm not setting bond on the aggravated assault charge at this time, but I am setting a $5,000 bond on a criminal trespass. I'm putting a stay away provision on this bond to stay away from Anthony Simmons and Marvis Blandenberg. I'm gonna set a preliminary hearing date for you for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm going to set a bond hearing date for April 30th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Brooks. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
I need Mr. Dallas. Just have a seat on the back row. Tell me your name.
Terrence Dallas.
Mr. Dallas, you've been charged with a number of misdemeanor offenses and 1 felony, the possession of methamphetamine. It's showing that you're either on probation or parole, so I can't set a bond on the felony charge at this hearing. But bonds have been set on the misdemeanor offenses that total $3,000. I'm going to give you a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. I'm also giving you a bond hearing date of April 30th. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Dallas. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
I actually get off of parole March the 12th, so.
Well, so the way that it works is I can't set a bond hearing at this hearing by law, but it doesn't mean that the district attorney's office can't consent to a bond. So you don't have to necessarily wait until the April 30th date if you're able to work something out beforehand. But it looks like there may be some equal access issues related to this and the other gentleman that was arrested. So there may be stuff that your lawyer can work with to get you out sooner.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Just tell me your name.
Good morning.
Good morning. You've been charged with a number of misdemeanor driving related offenses and 1 possession of marijuana less than an ounce. You're going to have a total bond that's going to be set $4,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir. But can I explain something?
Yes, sir.
They actually pulled me over for this charge twice in one night. The first set of officers searched me and gave me the charges. I have these charges twice. He sent me down the road. He put my paperwork back in my window and told me to go down the road, go take the Jeep to where it was dropped off at. The only reason I have a driving without my license on me is the reason that he let me go with the Jeep. So as I'm going down the road, there's another sheriff sitting on the side of the road that jumped behind me. I pulled over, I complied with everything I was supposed to do. And he was like, that guy was being lazy, he's gonna do his job, and he locked me up anyway. I don't feel like I should have a fine for something I've been charged twice for, and I was already given permission by authorities to go put the car up. I was just ran into it again before I could do so.
Well, as the second officer said, it's generally within the officer's discretion, right, whether they arrest you or not. You only have 1 count, so you're not like charged twice for each offense.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying about being stopped. and one officer was going to let you go and the other officer decided not to. That's really not, it's
Well, I'm not disputing the situation at all. I was just asking if you could like lower the bond or strike the bond or whatnot, because the offenses, all I have to do is register my car and the offense will be taken care of, and then I'll pay the bond for I'll pay the tax for the marijuana.
so with all of the offenses that you've been charged with, these are set as called schedule, which means the judges have sat down and determined what they believe is the appropriate bond for each of these offenses. So I'm not going to undercut what a group of judges have decided as the appropriate bond for these offenses. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Givens. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any other questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Are you Mr. Gorey?
Sir?
Sir, you've been charged with 2 driving-related offenses, and you're gonna have a total bond set at $2,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Gorey. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning. But that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Are you Mr. Grabowski?
No. He's coming, Your Honor.
Okay.
Another one? You go on the phone to judge. Just keep the mask on. Put your hand behind your back. Hello.
Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of entering an automobile and 1 count of theft by shoplifting. I'm going to set a total bond at $9,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 26th because the entering an auto is a felony count. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Looks like, do you make $5,500 per month?
Yes.
That's a little bit above the threshold. I'm going to go ahead and appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No.
Okay, you're free to go back.
I will see you in the back. Tell me his name. Put your hand behind your back.
Okay, Mr. Harris, you've been charged with 1 count of driving on a suspended license. The bond is set by schedule at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I have a paid lawyer in Louisiana. Does that still come for us? Or will I have to get a new lawyer out here?
Well, you would have to get a lawyer here. I mean, your lawyer in Louisiana, if you want to pay for him to come up here, you can do that. It's your choice. How much do you make per month?
I actually just started working, so I'm not.
How much do you make per hour?
$10 an hour.
Okay, you qualify Mr. Harris, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
How you doing, Your Honor?
You Mr. Hall?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well. Mr. Hall, you've been charged with felony theft by shoplifting because the number of prior convictions you have. I can't set a bond for this offense at this stage because there's an indication that you're still on probation or parole.
No, I'm not on probation or parole at all, Your Honor. That's not true.
That's what is showing on the paperwork. I got.
I'm not on probation or parole nowhere.
I understand. I hear you, Mr. Hall. I want you to hear me. Okay. From looking at your criminal history, it looks like that it's saying that you're still on probation. So that's the reason that you're being held. So you know what you need to address.
I'm not on, Your Honor, how can I address something I'm not on probation or parole in the state of Georgia anywhere at this present time?
Okay, so Mr. Hall, I hear you when you tell me that you're not on probation. I'm looking at this document that tells me that you are.
Where? What county, sir? I don't, okay, what county is it? I'm not aware, I'm not on.
Okay, all right, hold on.
Okay, that's not true, sir. I know if I'm on probation. I'm not on probation on any county in Georgia right at this present time.
Okay, so Mr. Hall, your criminal history is 36 pages and you have what are called 51 cycles, which means you've had 51 interactions with law enforcement, okay?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, over a 30-year period, Your Honor. Over 30 years. But I'm not on probation anywhere, sir. So that is, I'm correct.
All right. So,
well, I'm not on parole.
What happened on your arrest September 14th, 2020 on by shoplifting?
Nothing. There's nothing going on. I haven't been recited to go to court or anything, Your Honor. I'm not on parole or probation anywhere, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Hall, I'm just gonna deny probation, or I mean parole. I'm just gonna deny bond, okay? So would I make it easier? It's my decision to deny you bond at this stage, and it's because of the number of theft by shoplifting arrests and convictions that you've had. You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date that's gonna be set for April 26th at 8:30 in the morning. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Well, so I can't get out on bond, Your Honor. I gotta stay in jail until that date.
Yes. And I would encourage you to stop getting arrested on these theft by shopliftings.
Okay, well, when can I be eligible for a bond reduction hearing or bond hearing or something?
Well, I tried to make...
I'm on a lot of medication. I'm on a lot of...
So Mr. Hall, hold on, stop. I just need you to stop talking.
All right.
So I tried to make it easy on you. And I tried to tell you that if I'm wrong about the probation, that'll get changed and you'll get a bond. But now that I've denied bond, you're gonna have to have a bond hearing. So it doesn't matter if you're on probation or parole or not. I've denied bond because of your criminal history. So you're gonna have to either have your lawyer to work with the DA's office for them to consent to a bond, or you're gonna have to wait till your bond hearing date.
When's my bond hearing date?
April 30th.
Okay, let me ask you something, Your Honor. So if I go, okay, if you look and see that I have probation or parole, what will happen then?
Okay. Are you ready to listen to me, Mr. Hall?
Yes, I'm trying to listen to you, Your Honor, because I need to get out of here, man. I'm very sick.
Okay, so the way that you listen is to not talk and to let the other person talk. So if you are not on probation and I deny your bond because it says that you're on probation. You can take that information to the district attorney's office and they can agree to a bond.
Okay.
But as you can understand, I'm meeting you for the first time.
Yes, sir.
It could be wrong what's on this paperwork,
Yes, sir.
but I can't just ignore it.
Yes, I understand, sir.
Okay, any other questions, Mr. Hall?
Okay, so can I ask you one more question, Your Honor? When will I be eligible? When would I know all this is up and when I can get a bond and all that?
So I don't know the answer to that question because this is something that it could be tomorrow, or it could be Friday, or it could be next Monday. I don't know because I'm not the person that's going to be dealing with this. Okay.
Okay, then, okay. Let me ask you something. How would I know when I have a bond? That's when I would find out whether I have a bond.
Mr. Hall, he's gonna give you an attorney. Once you get that attorney, you talk to that attorney.
No, I'm listening to him. Okay, what
No,
you
you
saying?
The deputy is telling you right, Mr. Hall.
Okay.
I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Now it's in the hands of the lawyer.
Okay, so the lawyer will be able to negotiate me a bond.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Next.
Are you Nicholas Johnson?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You have one misdemeanor count of simple battery. I've set a $4,000 bond on this offense, but I've placed a stay away provision on the bond to stay away from Roshonda Level. Do you believe you can post this bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand the stay away provision?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th, and it's gonna be at 8:30 in the morning. That date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You do qualify, Mr. Johnson. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Go back to you. Next. Tell me your name.
Good morning, Calvin King.
Good morning. You're Mr. King?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. King, you're charged with a DUI second offense and a DUI refusal, improper lane change and impeding traffic. You're gonna have a total bond set at $16,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I don't know. I'll have to be able to work with the bonding company and see if I can do something. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir. You can do cash, bonding company, or use property. So the DUI second offense is the thing that's getting you the highest bond amount, set at $10,000, but that's the minimum for DUI second. We're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is gonna get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, you do qualify, Mr. Keene. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. You said April 27th, correct?
Yes, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
And at this point in time, after I leave from speaking to you, I can start contacting bonding companies and.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't let it go.
Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Are you Mr. Lipscomb?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you've been charged with 2 driving-related offenses. Your total bond is going to be set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Hold up.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Lipscomb. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well.
Derek Rambert.
Okay. 1 second, Mr. Rambert.
Yes, sir.
Miss Bernie, I'm about to send one more person over to you that I want you to check on. I'm sorry, Mr. Rambert. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. I'm going to set a $3,000 bond on this offense, but I'm going to put a stay away provision.
Wait. Don't do the stay away. I didn't. I'm sorry. May I talk?
I'm gonna let you speak,
Okay.
Mr. Rambert. So first, can you pay the $3,000 bond?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, what do you want to tell me about the stay away provision?
Stay away provision is like, I'm asking you not to do it because that's my fiance, and I didn't violently touch anybody or use any weapons or anything, and it's my home, and I actually knocked over a hookah off a dresser, not anybody. I actually, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's why and I got to go back home to her, so I was like, can you please not do the stay away because we're good, we'll be good.
Okay, what I'm gonna do,
I don't have a criminal record, none of that, and I'm self-employed.
Hold on. So this is what I'm gonna do, Mr. Perry. I'm sorry, Mr. Rambert. I'm gonna, hold on, sorry.
You realize that you seen K Perry and T Perry in the same situation.
Right.
You know, they are sisters, you know, and it's,
yes, I understand. So what I'm gonna do, Mr. Rambert, I'm going to keep this stay away provision, but
I work from home. They don't work at all. You know what I mean? I work from home. I have an office at the house. I have to work.
I understand. Let me finish my thought, Mr. Rambert, and I promise you,
yes, sir,
you're gonna be able to say whatever you want to say to me, okay? Yes. So we don't have to fight over each other to speak.
No problem.
Ms. Jones can contact the solicitor's office and tell them that she's not afraid of you and this provision will get lifted. But what happens on my end, okay, Ms. Jones isn't here to speak on her behalf. And what will invariably happen is that if she doesn't want you to come back or things are not the way that you perceive them to be, she's going to start calling the solicitor's office. The solicitor's office is going to start calling me, asking why I didn't put a stay away provision on this bond. Because what we don't want is for, it seems like, 3 people in the house all got arrested. Something was going on yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
So we need everybody to be on their best behavior moving forward. And the only way that can happen is that if people have to think about their actions. And I hear you saying that you accidentally knocked it over, but the way that it was written up is that you broke it. Now, that can be interpreted a lot of different ways. Okay? So what I would encourage you to do, let me see. Well, you make a little bit.
I own everything in the house, sir. And I own the hookah. I own everything in that house. I pay everything. Those people don't own anything in the house. But I understand by them being there, I know what's going on. But I didn't touch nobody. I didn't assault anybody. I didn't fight anybody or spit or anything. That's why I'm trying to keep my name clean, keep everything as square as possible.
I understand that. And what I would encourage you, Mr. Rambert, moving forward, from everything you're telling me, it looks like the police should not have been called, but they were called.
Yes, sir.
And so
they got called on some humble, like it had nothing to do with them.
Well, and that's
Sheriff, I'm back.
What I'm gonna do I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you, Mr. Rambert.
Yes, sir.
I would encourage you to be mindful of kind of whatever happened yesterday and for it not to happen again so that you're not in this situation.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna set a April 27th preliminary hearing date, for that day to get waived upon your bonding out. And like I said before, if Ms. Jones just contacts the solicitor's office.
Your Honor, who is Ms. Jones?
So it says that Mr. Rambert broke Margaret Jones's hookah without consent.
The hookah I bought?
Mr.
Oh, my bad. It's not, we're not in court. My bad. We ain't in court. My bad. I'm sorry.
So whomever this person is, date of birth, August 20th, 1970. It said that it was her hookah. So these are allegations, and this is why we try to appoint lawyers as quickly as possible, because if it's a misunderstanding or something is going wrong, it can get worked out.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay. Thank you. You're free to go back.
Thank you. So if I could just pay everything today?
Yes, sir.
3,000. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one.
You too. If the information is coming to you, Ms. Bernie.
How you doing, Your Honor? My name is Ahmad Usar Maguna.
Okay. Give me 1 second, Mr. Maguna.
All right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Maguna. You're charged with 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. This offense is set by schedule, which means it's automatically set. The bond is automatically set at $1,500. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Uh-oh, look like you froze. Okay, let's see if we can get it back up. Okay.
We back, Your Honor.
Okay, so your bond is going to be set at $1,500. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th. But that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, Your Honor, I don't. Appreciate you.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Appreciate that.
Put your hand down. Tell me your name.
Hello, sir. Michael Rushing.
Mr. Rushing, you've been charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling and 1 count of obstructing an officer. These are both misdemeanor offenses. You're going to have a total bond set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I have that cash, Your Honor.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for April 27th at 8:30 in the morning. And it's going to be over Zoom like we're having here today. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
I guess, sir, I would. And could you repeat that date for me, please?
Okay, it's April 27th But upon your bonding out, that date is going to get waived and you'll receive a new court date in the mail. I'm going to find that you qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any questions of me?
I don't, Your Honor. Thank you for your time.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Judge.
Tell me your name, sir.
Yes, it's John Adams, John Lewis S., not Jonathan.
Okay.
Come back.
So, Mr. Adams, apparently you have a city violation of probation. Where are you on probation from?
Out here in Jonesboro.
Okay, so you are going to have to go before the judge in Jonesboro to deal with the violation of probation. So what happens is you go back to the judge that placed you on probation. And I didn't place you on probation. So what the information that I got was that you were not supposed to be placed on this first appearance calendar.
It says March 8th, 2021, 8 a.m., Judge Keith Wood, City of Jonesboro Municipal Court.
Right, you're in Clayton County, so you should be over at Jonesboro right now.
What?
Okay, we'll get you.
Is Miss Kathy Graham in, my probation officer?
No, that would be Jonesboro.
So
think about it.
I've been here since the 24th.
Think about it from this standpoint. It's like you're just in the wrong house.
Who's at fault?
Well, ultimately, if you violated your probation, you're at fault for violating your probation, and we just need to get you where you need to go.
I thought this was Jonesboro where we're at now.
It's Clayton.
So why am I here? I've been here since the 24th.
Got their own city. Court.
I've been here since the 24th. I've spoken to my probation officer, Kathy Graham, and everything, and for some reason I'm here.
Yeah, so the sheriff's department, I don't know how you came into the custody, but the sheriff's department has county-wide jurisdiction. So if you are on probation in Jonesboro and there's a warrant for your arrest and you're down in Lovejoy, the sheriff's department will pick you up and bring you here and contact Jonesboro. And Jonesboro is responsible for bringing you before their judge's court. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir. Do you know when Jonesboro will get here? I mean, it's been 14 days, I think.
Right. So there's generally not like it just says as soon as possible for a person to be brought back for a probation violation. Some judges, they, depending on how upset that they are with you, they'll let you sit for a while before having the hearing, the revocation hearing. So it seems like you've already spoken to your probation officer. And did your probation officer say that she was going to put you back on probation? I can't read that. I can't read that.
I don't know, sir. She told me today I will have court either today morning or later on today on the 8th at 8 a.m. Judge Keith Woods.
So what would happen is Jonesboro police would come over to the sheriff's department and say, hey, you got Mr. Adams. We want to bring him over for his probation revocation hearing. And then the sheriff's department will release you into the custody of Jonesboro police, who will then take you to the Jonesboro Jonesboro court.
Okay, is there anyone I can speak to in regards to having this matter looked into? I thought it was like a stipulation or a certain time frame that they need to contact or expedite or. I mean, I've come from Columbus, Georgia. I went to Troup County, and from Troup County, I came here.
So I would encourage you to not have these entanglements because as you can see, it complicates things. Because even though you've gotten that, the city may not know that you're here.
What part you in?
One.
So just have somebody contact your probation officer over in Jonesboro. And it looks like you've already been in contact with her and that she can have you brought over. Because it's only 10 minutes away, less than 10 minutes away.
From my understanding, she's in the courtroom now, in your courtroom. Her name is Lydia Jones, and my probation officer is Kathy Graham, probation officer. I'm assuming that they're in your courtroom.
No.
They're not?
No, because you are going to have to be dealt with in Jonesboro.
Right.
Because that's where you're under probation. So you're not going to be dealt with out of a county court.
Yes, sir. So
okay.
Please. You can. Thank you.
All right, you're free to go back.
All right.
I got one more for you on it. This,
Mr. Bowden?
Yes, sir.
So what apparently has happened is that you are here on fugitive warrants or warrants for your arrest out of Muskogee County. A wanted person by the Muskogee County Sheriff's Department. So what's going to happen is that they're going to have to come and get you and take you back to Muskogee County to deal with whatever they want you for out of Muskogee County. Okay.
So you don't know how long it'll be before they come?
I do not, and it's generally something that my understanding is that it generally takes less than 30 days. But they're going to have to drive up here and pick you up and drive you back. Okay. So my assumption is that you're on probation out of Muskogee County and there's apparently a warrant for your arrest. Maybe they're making an allegation that you violated your probation out of Muskogee County. Okay. All right. So you are free to go back.
All right.
My probation officer, she came and gave it to me. That's what they got the warrant. Right, my girl right there and my probation officer there. We my evidence and proof of everything.
Is that everyone?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Okay, Ms. Burney, I'm going to give you a call about Mr. Shoemaker. Thank you, Deputy. You have a good day.
You too, thank you.